Hello there, everybody. Welcome to day 6 of my Designing My Mental Health Journey. Just to give you a quick update on last night's, I was really excited this morning because I got about almost 6 hours of straight sleep, which I was super excited about because that's unprecedented lately. And so, basically, a couple of things I did throughout the night or going to bed in preparation for bed last night. One was that I decided to take an electric blanket to bed with me. I've been thinking a lot about the weighted blankets. I don't have one of those yet. If anybody does have one and, find it good or bad, I'd love for you to comment down below this video and let me know what your thoughts were on that because I've thought a lot about buying one. So I took an electric blanket to bed, and that heat kind of helped me throughout the night. My bedroom is really big and it's really cold, and so I have a tendency up throughout the night quite often. And I don't think my thermostat is working really well, so um, my bedroom is really hard to keep warm. So that was one thing that helped me last night. And the other thing I did last night uh, when going to bed was I decided to turn off my air exchanger. And the reason why I did that, I do have a heat recovery unit, but I've been finding a lot in the middle of the night that for some reason or another, I don't know if it's because of the cold weather, but my air exchanger has kind of been going into like a turbo mode, around 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning every night. And so I decided to turn that off last night to make sure that it didn't wake me. So that was good. And I didn't wake up. I slept from about 11 o'clock until about 4:45 this morning. So like I said, I was really excited about that. Anyways, I had an interesting day because I've been putting off going out and tackling the end of my driveway. I know I said a few nights ago, that night that we had the rain and then it turned cold, I had said I was going to go out and tackle the driveway, but I just didn't have the energy to do it. And up until today, it was completely barred in with ice. There was about a 3 foot by 3 foot by about, well, whatever the width of the driveway is. So before I even got out of bed this morning, I made a decision that I was going to go out and try to tackle that. And I'm glad I did because I actually ended up taking, if you can believe this, a claw hammer to it, I chipped away at it and managed to clear, quite a wide area, probably 6 feet wide. And it was actually in my favor that it was a really cold, bitterly cold day today because everything was quite brittle. And if you let the hammer do the work, it actually worked out quite well. So you guys might think I'm absolutely crazy for tackling that, but it worked. I was able to get my vehicle. I really needed to move my vehicle today, and so that worked enough to get the vehicle out. And I didn't want to tear off my exhaust because I have the center of my exhaust is kind of hanging low. Anyways, got that done, and it was an interesting project because the whole time I was doing it, and I've talked about the benefits of exercise before and how important that is, but it kind of gave me a little boost today going out and that by hand, out there hammering away at it. Of course, progress always makes us feel good. Exercise and progress, feeling like we're moving forward is always a really positive thing. Tony Robbins says progress equals happiness, and I do believe that. But as I was working on that project today, I got to thinking about resiliency because I kind of chuckled to myself at one point when I realized how ridiculous I must have looked out there, crouched down, banging away at that with a claw hammer. But it made me think about resilience because one of the things that I've learned through strategic intervention has been about your story and how powerful your story is. And I think one of the things that I've always taken away from my experiences and stuff, because some of my childhood was traumatic and difficult, obviously, Um, but I've always, one of the parts of my story, I guess, that's empowered me throughout my lifetime has been that my challenges in childhood have made me an extremely strong, independent, fiercely independent, and resilient person. And I actually love that because I've always known that it was one way that I could really, you know, take some good away from the challenges that I faced in my life. And sure, I mean, challenges continue, throughout your life, but that part of my story about how it made me strong, how it made me resilient. Sorry, that's my phone going off. How it made me resilient throughout the years, how it made me strong and independent, and those kinds of things that has really served me well over the years, because I draw a lot of strength and power from that. And you know, it's interesting too, because I also thought about the fact that I'm very fortunate about that, because I was able to create that part of my story in such a powerful and empowering way. I'm fortunate about that, because what it means is that I know I'm going to get through this. I know I'm going to, be okay, and, find ways to help myself and stuff like that. So I know I will get through it. And hopefully I will come through it very, very successfully. But I also know that there's a lot of people out there who don't. There's a lot of people out there struggling, and don't necessarily haven't necessarily found that inner strength. And I would never say that they don't have it, because I don't believe that. I believe that we all have that inner strength. And that's one of the things that I love so much about, Tony Robbins and the whole strategic intervention thing, is that he teaches people how to find their strength. He teaches people how to create a more empowering, so that, your life doesn't always have to look, like it possibly does now, or like it did in the past. And that's also what I learned, to do for my clients, in the coaching world, is I help teach people how to find those story that they can transform, and make into something more powerful. So, I'm very grateful for that. I'm grateful that that I do have so much resilience, and that I do have so much determination, and I'm fiercely determined to find answers and solutions to things. And if anybody knows me, that's something that you've probably witnessed about me in the past. But the one thing I will say about resiliency is this: I've started to recognize just how I've taken that part of my story to the nth degree. And that what I mean by that is that I've always prided myself on being a strong, independent woman. I've always, prided myself on the fact that I was determined to find solutions, and determined to, work my way through things and stuff sometimes. But I almost kind of feel like, how every now and then the universe will kind of tap you on the say, there's something here you're not getting. And I always try to do that too. When I'm faced with the challenges, I always ask myself, well, what is this about? Why are you going through this right now? And where's the opportunity in it? And when I think about that in terms of resiliency and strength and independence and all those things, I realize that maybe it's time. I think the universe is trying to tell me that it may be time to kind of let down that guard a little bit and start accepting some help, because that's something that's been very difficult for me throughout the years. I think one of the things about my story that I came to believe about myself was that nobody was ever going to be there for me. I couldn't trust people to have my back, or, to stand by me. And I think that has impacted me tremendously over the years. So that's a little bit of a personal detail, but I think it's important. I want this journey to be authentic and I want to be as raw and as real as possible because, I am here to try to help other people, with this whole effort. And, you know, I, I, I do realize that, I have a tendency to push people away, and I have a tendency to, to not to want to count on anybody, and to just only count on myself. And I recognize that as being one of the parts of my story that I think I really need to work on because, no man is an island. And, you know, I, I have been trying to change that, but I obviously I recognize today that it probably needs a little bit more work. Um, like I said, it has impacted me over the years and throughout my lifetime. And they say you get what you're gonna get whatever you look for. And I know I've learned enough to know that if I've spent my whole life trying to prove that nobody was ever going to have my back, that I would never be able to count on a man, especially any males in my life. Um, you get what you look for, and I think that I that bears some investigation on my part because if that is impacting my life in such a way that I am manifesting the and I mean I don't mean manifesting as in woo woo. I mean, I'm creating my own reality here just as we all are. And so if that's the story I've been telling myself my whole life, then you know you're going to be determined to make it true, right? Because we kind of like to be right. So, and obviously that's a subconscious thing, it's not a conscious thing. I would never consciously choose that, but certainly now at the age of 52, when I look at my life and I look at my the series of relationships and stuff that I've had, it kind of makes me question, is there something to that? Do I need to start paying a bit more attention to that? So, that's one of the things I'm going to be doing some thinking about and working on over the course of this process. So think about that for yourself. Think about in terms of, if you are struggling or if you know people who are struggling, it helps to consider in what ways you could possibly be contributing to your own reality. And I know that there are many other parts of my, trauma history that I need to think about in those terms, because obviously something is impacting me in a major league way. And my belief is that that's just the universe's way of giving you a tap on the shoulder and saying, hey, wake up, you need to start paying some attention here. So hopefully, that will resonate with some of you. I would love to hear some of your comments and your own experiences with that, and what your thoughts are about it. And yeah, feel free to share some information about those weighted blankets if you've ever had any experience with those. So that's my little clip for today. I try the electric blanket again and see if I can have a better night tonight. But the exercise did me a world of good, and the fresh air did me a world of good today. I have a freshened up cough and a little bit of weight on my chest. Hopefully I won't be too negatively impacted, when trying to go to sleep tonight. But hey, that's what anti-inflammatories are for. So I hope you have a good rest of the day, and looking forward to touching base with you again tomorrow. All right, so enjoy the rest of your evening. Thanks.